Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility, bringing you new album reviews all the damn time. That's right. Today we're going to take a look at a brand new album from a progressive rock band from here in the U.S., originally from Chattanooga, Tennessee, now kind of based. Well, the leader of the band is down south, I think he's in Florida now, so they moved a little bit around, but they're back nonetheless. I believe this is their 22nd studio album, something like that. It's either 22 or 23, something like that. The band is Glass Hammer. The album is Rogue. Just released, a week and a half ago, something like that. Here we have the digipack. Let's take a look at the inside here. So, and there you have the wonderful little beach and almost like lagoon setting there. Like I said, Steve Babb has relocated down south, so not surprising to see some shots like that, some artwork like that. Here we have the booklet filled with the lyrics to Rogue, and I'll read you a little something in a second, and I'll tell you who all plays on this. So, Rogue, I've had enough of winter with its gray hills and gray skies, the gray buildings and gray downward faces. Nothing can cheer me in this place. Even the sun has hidden in its face from me, but who can blame it? Why would it waste its light upon such a dismal scene? I do not wish to sound melodramatic, but I feel I shall die a slow and meaningless death should I remain in this limbo land of drizzling rain and chill wind. I should have left years ago, but I am determined now to do just that. So southward I will flee, back to sunshine and clean air, back to the happy realm where I spent my youth playing in the sand and splashing in the waves, and maybe back to her. So that's kind of like the theme to the whole album here, and let's talk about who put this album together. So Glass Hammer kind of is these days. It's, Steve Babb, founding member, is basically kind of running the show here. He is on lead and backing vocals, bass, guitar, keyboards, Taurus pedals, some guitars and percussion. We've got Thomas Jacob on lead and backing vocals, Olivia Tharp on lead and backing vocals, Fred Schendel, of course, the other part of the Glass Hammer machine for all these years. He plays guitar on one track and lap steel guitar on another, so he's taken kind of a step back from the band. We've got Reese Boyd on guitar solo on one track. You got David Walleman, guitar solo or lead guitar on another track. Oliver Day, guitars and lap steel guitar on a couple tracks. You've got Attilio Calabrese on lead guitar on one track. Ariel Perchuk on synth solos on a couple tracks, Randall Williams on drums, and Evgeny Obrukov on drums. Music lyrics and story by Steve Babb, all songs recorded at Sound Resources in Pensacola, Florida. Glass Hammer Media. Recorded, mixed, and mastered at Glass Hammer Media in Pensacola, Florida by Steve Babb, and packaging and layout done by Mikhail Loran. So, now, for those of you who have been following Glass Hammer for a number of years, obviously, as we've gone through, and I've been listening to their music since the start, as we've kind of gone through the career following this band, they have changed and morphed quite a bit over time, and we've got a lot of personnel changes over the years. I think both Steve and Fred, when Fred was doing more in the band, they would just reconfigure the lineup from album to album as they saw fit, right? Singers, drummers, guitar players, what have you would come and go over the years. And like I said, in more recent times, Steve has really kind of taken over the Glass Hammer concept and band, and he has taken the band through some twists and turns in more recent times. Right, we had John Davison who's now in Yes, was in the band for a number of years, sang on a number of albums, and those albums were very Yes-like, as have been a lot of the Glass Hammer releases for a number of years. They've been very much in that symphonic, classic prog sound, very kind of upbeat and bright and symphonic and very Yes style. And then for the last couple of albums, which were like basically like a kind of a trio, and kind of like soundtracks to books that Steve has been writing. These were definitely different. They were a little darker. They were certainly heavier. They took on more like kind of like an old school Rush tone mixed with some like Hawkwind style space rock, right? Tangerine Dream, that sort of thing. So it was like very different for the band for a number of albums. Kind of breaking away from that whole symphonic prog Yes style thing with the big epic songs and all that. Well, now that they've done that, right, this new album to me sees a little bit of a stylistic change once again, maybe a little more similar to their older style. But all those kind of like heavy influences that permeated the last couple albums are pretty much gone here. This is a return to much, much more symphonic, kind of pastoral in spots, progressive rock, and very, very much vocal driven. Much, much more than some of their earlier material, which, lots and lots of instrumental passages and solos and things like that. I mean, they were always very much a vocal-oriented band, but I find this is a return back to kind of like Paralandrel and all that very early stuff. It starts off with a song, and Steve is, it doesn't really state. I'm not 100% sure exactly where Thomas Jacob is singing on the album, because most of the male vocals sound very similar to each other. So I'm assuming Steve is doing the bulk of it, but I'm not 100% sure. And I've listened to this a bunch of times. I'm trying to there are a couple tracks where I'm like, wow, that could be one over the other. But again, I'm not really familiar with Thomas Jacob. So, to me, the male vocals have a very distinct tone. When Olivia comes in to sing, obviously when she's there, right? But regardless, the lead vocals are very, very well done throughout the album. They're very kind of calm, right? And a little more on the tranquil, very melodic side, which is fine. What If is more of like a more a pastoral prog song-based type of thing. And a lot of the first half is kind of like that. So you got What If, The Road South, and then Tomorrow, all very catchy, vocal and lyric driven type pieces, right? You got some nice accompaniment on, keyboards and synths and guitars and whatnot, but it's not overly rockin' stuff. It's not overly like complex prog and what have you, but really, really nice tracks. And then you got Pretty Ghost, which Olivia does sing lead on that. And she's got a really great voice, right? This band has worked with a lot of great female singers over the years. And they're all very well chosen, and they generally always fit the albums that they appear on quite well. I will say she does the same thing. Sunshine, she's also on Sunshine and on I Will Follow. I'm trying to remember, is it I Will Follow? One of the two of them, they have her and either Steve or Thomas working together, and there's like this back and forth with the male and female vocals. I think it's really, really well done. The Wonder of It All might be it's one of my 3 favorite songs on here. I find that once you hit The Wonder of It All going towards the back end of the CD, it definitely takes on more of a straight-on prog rock album, with a lot of the bells and whistles that we would expect from these guys. The Wonder of It All the chorus is great. It's so catchy. There's a lot of great instrumentation on there. Really, really good. Then you got the instrumental One Last Sunrise, which is pleasant, and there lies a little bit of that kind of like, I don't want to call it space rock because it really isn't, but it's kind of like that dreamy keyboard laden prog type thing. I really like it a lot. And then the last 2 tracks, those are the big kind of epic tracks on here. You got Terminal Lucidity. I wanted to call it Terminal Velocity. Terminal Lucidity, which is really strong, and that's your big bombastic glass hammer. And in fact, on that, you've got lead guitar work. I'm trying to remember who played. Reese Boyd does the guitar solo on that, which is really good. And that's a nice workout for the band. Really, really well done. And then All Good Things is also, Terminal Lucidity is just over 10 minutes. All Good Things is just under 9. That's excellent as well. It's got some nice dreamy passages, melodic vocals. You got like the pedal steel going on. It's just the last 2 tracks are the most Yes sounding things on here, or most classic glass hammer style things on here. It's really well done. I think that, again, it's an album of a couple of parts, I think, to me. But again, it follows the story, so you can go through the lyrics and this whole thing that Steve has created here, which I think, as always on all these Glass Hammer albums, is very nicely done. These guys know how to put together stories. That's what it's all about. So if you're into the concept thing, you've come to the right place. So yeah, so I'm going to give this an easy 4 out of 5 star for Glass Hammer. Rogue, if you've heard it, let us know what you think down in the comments below. If not, go check it out. This band never disappoints. They've got 20 some odd albums. I've got all of them, and I tell you, they're all really good. There's not a bad one in the catalog, and it's just consistent quality all the time, regardless of kind of which direction they're going in. So yeah, thanks to Steve for sending this to me. I appreciate it. Steve has always been a good friend to the channel. We've supported them for, God, as long as I've been working, Sea of Tranquility. Back when we were a magazine, when we started the webzine right here on the channel, it's like we've covered Glass Hammer since the beginning. So yeah, always good to get new music from. So yeah, go check it out. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we get the links to our Ko-Fi page, our channel donations, our merch page, our Cameo page, and the Sea of Tranquility membership options, all down below. Thanks, everybody, for helping out. Greatly appreciate it, and we'll see you soon here with more stuff. I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.